This is part 2 in Moveology Physical Therapy and Wellness's Paddle Fitness series. If you missed part 1, I'll link it down below in the description of the video. I'm Kristen, physical therapist and fellow SUP racer. I'm here with part 2 on Moveology Physical Therapy and Wellness's Paddle Fitness series to talk about my top 5 core exercises for paddleboarding and why the core is so important to perfect your paddle technique. So what is it about the core? Your core is more than just a six-pack, although those are pretty fabulous as well. Your core is a complex group of muscles that wrap around your torso, connecting your spine, your pelvis, and your hips. A strong core is going to allow for stability within the back and the pelvis and the hips, and allow for rotation and a transfer of power throughout your body. When you paddle, a strong core is going to keep you balanced on your board, prevent excessive back strain, and provide efficiency to your stroke and paddle. So here's the kicker. Paddleboarding relies heavily on anti-rotation. When you take your paddle, you place it in that water for the catch, and you pull the paddle towards you, your core is resisting the rotation, keeping you upright, keeping you balanced on the board. So a weak core with weak obliques and back extensors can lead to imbalances on your board, awkward paddling strokes, and even a risk for injury. So keep watching for my top 5 core exercises for paddleboarding to get your obliques, your glutes, and your back extensors strong for a good and efficient paddling stroke. Squats will strengthen your core, glutes, and quads, providing momentum and power through your lower body. Start without weight and then progress to holding a dumbbell or kettlebell. Side planks will target your obliques. Start with bent legs, and you can slowly raise your top leg up and down. As you gain strength, you can move into a full side plank and do arm movements, reaching through and straight up while holding your side plank. And as that gets stronger, you can then move into a side plank where you're raising your top leg up and down for more of a challenge to your obliques. Hinging is important to master in paddleboarding so you can learn to dissociate your trunk from your lower body to prevent excessive back flexion and back injuries. You want to keep your back straight and send your hips backwards as you bend forward from the waist and the hips. There should be a slight bend in your knees, and you should only bend forward until you feel a slight stretch into the back of the legs. Start without any weight, and then you can progress to using dumbbells. From there, you can progress into a tripod Romanian deadlift. From there, your front leg is doing all the work. Your back leg is just propped on the floor for balance. Again, you're sending your hips back, keeping your back straight, slight bend in the knees as you bend forward. And then you can perform a single leg deadlift where your back leg will go up into the air. Again, keep your back straight, hinge from your hips. Wood chops are a great dynamic exercise to perform outside of the water that mimic the catch of the paddle to pulling the paddle through the water. It targets your obliques and rotation. You want to brace through your core. Start with the weight over one shoulder, pull it to the chest, down across the other shoulder as you perform a slight squat, and then reverse that for your lift as you bring it back up. To challenge, you can move into a split stance and bring the weight down and across your leg that is in the front as you are performing the lunge. Russian twists are your classic oblique exercise. You're going to hold one weight, you're going to brace through the core, keep your back straight as you bring the weight over to the side to one hip and then to the other hip, back and forth. To progress this exercise, lift your feet up off the floor. Again, you really need to brace strongly through your core as you bring the weight from one hip to the other. And then finally, you can move into a boat pose. Again, strong hold core with a straight back as you bring the weight side to side. So there you have it. My top 5 core exercises for paddleboarding. Give them a try. Start easy, progress to the progressions that make all of the exercises a little bit more challenging. Keep at it, get your core strong, prevent injuries, perfect your paddling technique, and get out there and race and paddleboard. If you have any questions, comment down below. And be sure to keep a watch for our 3rd and final part in this series of paddleboard fitness tips. I'm Kristen with Moveology Physical Therapy and Wellness. Like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.